Every September 11th, it's hard not to find ourselves thinking about that catastrophic day when so many Americans lost their lives and our national sense of well-being was so upended, particularly by the attacks in New York City. I recently had the opportunity to visit an exhibition at the Art Institute entitled My New Yorks, which is an exhibition of the works of Georgia O'Keeffe, who was a prolific and highly regarded painter of the early 20th century, American painter. And if you know anything about her, I associate many of her paintings with beautiful canvases of flowers and desert landscapes. She lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico in the later years of her life, but in the early years of her life, she lived in New York with her husband, and she was totally captivated by the city of New York. And in the 1920s, New York was abuzz, with buildings going up everywhere, the beginning of what we would become known as concrete canyons, avenues of sky rises. And the invention of the hydraulic elevator made living in these tall buildings possible. And in 1925, New York allowed people to live above the 11th floor of a building. Promptly, her and her husband rented an apartment on the 30th floor of the Stanton Hotel on the east side of Manhattan. And she would look out her windows and paint these incredible vistas of the city of New York. And she would say there's something of a view you get on street level, but when you get high above a city, you see it in its beauty and its synergy. Great cities keep reinventing themselves. And she captured the energy and spirit of New York as it was flourishing in the 20s. There is something about high altitude views of things. When I travel, I always love to go onto rooftop restaurants and bars. You just get you can have a sense of Florence street level. You get up and see the city from high above, and it has this incredible power you can't capture. I often think from time to time, as a pastor, I get a high altitude view of OLPH Parish, and you get sometimes a sense of the enormous blessedness of this community of faith. And if one was to look at the various sources of synergy in the history of this parish, there would be an awful lot of energy around the Women's Club that has been a vital ministry of the parish since its earliest days. And I love the theme this year of service because it not only captures an inspiration as we begin a new year and begin to look at the activities and the programs and the events that will mark the coming year, but it captures in many ways the experience of the parish of the Women's Club. And it's sort of, to me, summarized in that word of service. Can you imagine how many meals have been prepared, how many clothes have been collected, how many families have been assisted, how many efforts have been inaugurated by the Women's Club? We couldn't even imagine cumulatively looking at these acts of kindness and generosity, and most of all of service of this parish, service of its mission, service that is really grounded in the gospel we have heard this morning of the Beatitudes. For the Beatitudes are a path to happiness. When we are mindful of those who are hungry, those who have no clothes, no place to be, who are distressed or upended by the circumstances of their life, what a difference makes when they are touched and cared for, when someone reaches out to them. In a very large parish like this, one can get lost in its largeness, and I'm always grateful to the Women's Club because for many of our women, many of our parishioners, it's the Women's Club that puts a face on OLPH. For many, over the years, the Women's Club kind of changes a sense of OLPH as from the church that I attend to the parish I belong to. And that's a tremendous gift. And for many people, long-term friendships are cultivated and emerge out of the guild system that stretches from one edge of the parish to the next. I am excited about this new year. We have many things that we will be experiencing. We'll be hearing later this morning at the Women's Club many of the initiatives that will be another year of building up this sense of service in light of our faith in Jesus Christ and our desire to build his kingdom.
Thank you for joining us today. Our digital ministry provides a valuable service to parishioners and visitors alike. How wonderful that we can share God's Word, the celebration of the Eucharist, and other important words and events with those who may not be able to be with us in person. If you would like to support this effort, please go to olphglenview.org. Click on the gold donate button and then the Sunday giving icon to make a contribution on our secure online giving portal. We sincerely appreciate your past and ongoing support. Thank you for helping us continue this ministry. God bless.